Hey folks, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Thank you everyone. So this is gonna be my first stream on crypto. I was looking at Ethereum and I was like, okay, I can do a stream today because I can see a setup forming. And before I do talk about setup, let me walk you through the hourly chart on Ethereum. On hourly chart, okay, let's go to the 4-hour chart first. On 4-hour chart, you can clearly see that what price did here. Price generated relative equal lows down here, right? These are relative equal lows. These are very clean level. Price did offered relative equal lows and filled a lot of gap, and right now I can see the price coming down and just leaving this relative equal lows. So that's the reason I opened this stream. I want to see these relative equal lows that you see on 4-hour chart getting taken out. So let's see, like I will do a stream for like 2 hours. In between 2 hours, if price it does this move, then yeah, that's the reason I'm doing a stream. And that's what I see on 4-hour chart. I do see this fair value, these equal lows on 4-hour chart. If I take you on 60-minute chart, if I take you on 60-minute chart, you will see that we have a fair value gap. Okay, let me hide this drawing first. Minutes, hours, okay. So that's the hourly fair value gap. So what I'm thinking is price should come up here before dropping, okay, before dropping and taking out this liquidity. And I marked a setup on 1-minute chart. I will take you guys there 1 minute. When I take you on 1 minute, it will make more sense. So look at the level. This candle's low. Look at the top section of my screen right here at these numbers. Okay, this candle's low comes in at 1825. And this candle's low comes in at 826. It's just like 1 point more here, right? And the other candle that we saw is just 1 point less, and this candle's low comes in at 1824. So these two levels are very clean levels. These are relatively equal just by 1 point. So what I'm expecting to see, price coming up, hitting into this hourly fair value gap and then dropping. If I take you on 15-minute chart, okay, it will make more sense. Look at this fair value gap. It looks clean, right? Okay, let me take you on 5-minute chart. Now look at the chart. Let me hide some drawing first, and then I will talk about what I can see. Okay, so what do you see? Price generated relative equal highs here, right? Before this up move here, you can see the price generated relative equal highs, and then relative equal highs here, and above this fair value gap. That's our hourly fair value gap, right? This box that you see here, that's our hourly fair value gap, and inside our hourly fair value gap we have a 15-minute fair value gap too, and above that we have relative equal highs. So now let's drop down to 1-minute chart. That's where the magic is happening. You can clearly see that a breaker block is getting activated right now. So price did close the candle's body above the breaker block, right? So a trade idea would be something like this. I'm not taking this trade, by the way. Okay, I'm putting it upside down. So I can see a trade idea. That's what I'm saying. That's a relative equal high that price just took, and that's our breaker block. Why is it a breaker block? That's a swing low right here, right? You can see that that's a swing low, and that's a fair value gap. I'm on 1-minute chart on Ethereum. That's a swing low, that's a fair value gap, and price is doing what? Price got support from this fair value gap. At the same time, price did a stop hunt here, right? So this stop hunt, because of this stop hunt, these up close candles that you see right here becomes our breaker block. right? So price went up, closed the candle's body above the breaker block. So what do we expect? We expect to see price become aggressive towards the buy side at the second candle. So the second candle he opened here, right? So what I want you to watch is that how the second candle delivers price towards the buy side liquidity. Okay, so I'll be here with you for like a 2 hour until this drops, delivers, and then a move towards the sell side happens. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting to see these relative equal lows getting taken out, and before I do that, I want to see price hitting that hourly fair value gap. Okay, this colored shaded box that you see, if you remember, if I take you back onto the 60-minute chart, you can see that it's very clear to see. That's the hourly fair value gap right here, right? And that is unfilled. If I take you on 5-minute chart, it will make more sense to you because of the relative equal highs above, and because price left this relative equal highs here. That's the reason I wanna see that price come up, hitting these fair value gaps, and then dropping, plus clearing out the relative equal highs that it generated. So let's see what price does. I'm waiting for a move towards the sell side, but let's see how price reacts from this breaker block that I outlined here, right? So that's what I'm watching. Price did a stop hunt here, right? That's a lower low, new lower low. These up close candles that you see here, this becomes our breaker block, and price did went above and activated this breaker block. Now I want to see, that's a fair value gap right inside this breaker block. If our breaker block is valid, I don't want to see price going below these fair value gaps and like doing something else. I want to see price hitting this fair value gap though, and then dropping like this. On crypto, folks, moves are aggressive like this all the time. Like if you have no experience trading crypto, crypto is very, very volatile. It's not like indices. On US 30, you know when you will see volatility, right? But on crypto, you never know when the volatility will come in. Just suddenly, when there's news, you know that the crypto will follow the news. But without news, even when there's no news, you will see crypto is just hunting, like delivering 50 point with a one move, 10 point with one move. Okay, so crypto is very, very volatile. So, but crypto does follows algo to the tick. That's the reason when the weekend comes near to me. Today I wasn't able to trade because today is Eid for me. That's a day we celebrate, we Muslims celebrate. So today I didn't open the chart, but after I finished the prayers and everything, I was looking at crypto and I saw this setup. So that's the reason I wanted to come onto the stream and share some knowledge with you all. On weekend, I will do live stream on crypto from this weekend and onwards. You will see me doing a live stream on crypto just like I do on US 30. I love Ethereum, okay? Just the way I trade on US 30, same way, same models I use on Ethereum, and it works. Only the macros that I have on US 30, those macros does not work on crypto. On crypto, there's other macros, but on crypto, the macros that I use is not high probability like the indices. On indices, the macros that I share, like, and I told you that look for this breaker block setup, it will happen, that's a guarantee. But that guarantee I cannot give you on crypto because you never know. Okay, like you will see the macro times that I use on crypto. I can see that crypto does follow these macros and does present a setup, but it's not high probability as indices. Like suppose today crypto did presented me a setup in my macro zone, the macro that I'm using. Yesterday you won't see that macro working. The day after that you won't see the macro working. The day after that we'll see it again working. It's like this. But on indices it works every freaking day. Okay, so I'm watching this fair value gap inside this breaker block. So if price wanna deliver towards the buy side, it should get it should get support towards the buy side from this fair value gap that is inside this breaker block right here. And why am I looking for setup towards the buy side? I told you guys, like, price did generate a relative equal low, right? And I did show that these relative equal lows and 60-minute chart, right? Didn't I? Do you remember I told you that look at the lows right here, and then I measured the lows, and these are relative equal lows. And at the same time, At the same time, folks, price also has a fair value gap that is unfilled. So if price had something in mind to just take this level out, it would have did it. But what it's doing is it generated relative equal highs. At the same time, price did left this fair value gap unfilled. So when you see price did generated relative equal highs like this, what do I say? When we see relative equal highs, what do I say? I say that that becomes a strong level of liquidity. That's the reason I'm expecting a run towards the buy side before a stop, before price delivering towards the sell side. Okay, I'm expecting a run on sell side, but before a run happens on sell side, I want to see price come up, clear these relative equal highs out, and then drop. Okay, if it does not do that, okay, there's nothing to do. If it does that, then it's okay, we will learn something. If it doesn't do that, we will learn either way. Both of the way we will learn. We are here to learn. We are here to build our experience on from crypto. Okay, crypto is very volatile. It's very hard to master. Okay, because you never know when the volatility in crypto comes in. Suppose you are in a very good trade and the volatility came in, your idea is correct, but that that trade will hunt your stop loss. It happens like that. Even if you are using the best broker in the world in crypto, if you're trading like with live funds, you should be very careful, but you can practice and it will give you a lot of knowledge. Okay, on weekends I do trade on crypto like this. I do a lot of tape reading. Crypto is slow like this. Okay, each of these candles takes times to get generated, and suddenly the volatility comes in. Suddenly you will see that in a row crypto will have 20 candles in consolidation, then suddenly out of nowhere the next candle it will just hunt, it will just deliver like 20-30 points. It's like this. So watch crypto right here. We are not trading with live funds, rather we are building experience, and this same experience that we are building here, it will work on US30, folks. Like they both follow the same algo. Okay, on crypto it's like more precise, but on US30 it's like, yeah, it manipulates a lot. So what you can see here, price, when price came down, right, hit this fair value gap, at the same time price did generated a wick right here. Do you see this big wick? So what do I tell you? What my mentor tells us, when you see a wick like this, right, you should measure it, and then you should expect to see reaction from certain zones. And you know what zones I'm using. You can see it on my chart right here. So if even if price is coming down, for me to get bearish again, okay, for my trade idea to get wrong, price will have to go through this swing low, or go below this midway and lower quadrant. Okay, then my idea for a hunt on buy side will get wrong. So until then I'm just gonna watch, and if it does against me, I will look for why it did that, why price did what it did, and why not my idea was correct. So that's what you should do when you are learning. You should ask yourself question when price does not follow your trade idea, right? When price proves you wrong, why it's proving you wrong. If you ask that, you will learn a lot more than you are doing right now. So that's a big wick, right? What do you see? Price came down. Where did price hit? At the 0.75 level, right? That's the upper quadrant. If I zoom in, what do you see? Price came down to the tick, folks. Precision to the ticks. That's how you know algo exists. Okay, like we ICT trader, we know algo exists, but some people who are retail here, they think like algo doesn't exist. It exists. Look at the precision here. Price came down, hit this random level, okay, 0.75, and hit it, and then it got rejected. And that's the thing we ICT trader expect. Okay, the retail, they will think like it's a coincidence, but they don't know it happens again and again, and price delivers just like this, getting rejecting from a wick again and again and again. That's the magic. When you measure things like this and when you see chart like this, that's when the most learning happens. Okay, so I will go onto the member mode right now. So the my members who joined in my YouTube channel, only they will be able to chat with me from now on. So I will turn on the members only chat right now. Macros for crypto won't be free for you guys. So, but in macro, I told you that macro that I use on crypto, it's like it's not that accurate. Okay, the macro that I use on US30 and other indices, that's very accurate, but here it's just like choppy. It works, then it doesn't work. It's not high probability that like other pairs, because if you are trading on crypto, you know how it behaves. It becomes volatile. Okay, out of nowhere it becomes volatile. A lot of volatility comes in. So what do you see here? Price generated a breaker block, right? Price activated the breaker block, and then price is now getting support from where? This fair value gap. I told you before price hit this fair value gap, I told you that if price is not getting support from this fair value gap, okay, it will hunt sell side liquidity, right? And what do you see here? We want to see price getting support from this fair value gap. Why? Because we want to see a raid on these equal highs right here. I want to see price coming up, taking out this relative equal high, and feeling the hourly fair value gap. That's the reason I'm building the narrative here. The trade narrative that I'm sharing with you here, I'm building it here. Just like this. Do you see a breaker block here? The people who are new to breaker block, I'll just mark it again for you. That's a lower low, right? And price did hit this fair value gap when price created this lower low. And after the price did what? Price went up, generated relative equal highs, right? And then again price came down, did a stop hunt, right? A stop hunt is here when price went below this low right here, and it generated a new lower low. It becomes a previous low. Price did a stop hunt here, and when it does that, the up close candles that you see here, that becomes our breaker block. Okay, and now you can ask me a question. Hydra, I can see a lot of stop hunt that price did previously. How do I know which stop hunt is correct, right? That's a very good question, but no one ever asked me questions like that. So when price comes down and does a stop hunt, how do you know that's a accurate, that's a valid stop hunt? That's how you know. Sorry for that, guys. I had to go to talk with my brother about some stuff. I wasn't in front of the chart, but you can see that what I was telling you, price just did exactly what I was telling you, right? After like it's been like 5 minutes, right? I was away and this move happened. Wow. I wasn't here, otherwise I would have told you what price was going to do. So anyway, let's continue talking about the breaker blocks. So that was our breaker block, right? I outlined it to you. These up close candles that you see, that was our breaker block. And what do you see? Price delivered liquidity here, and it hit our what 60-minute fair value gap right here, right? Just as I wanted. If you were like entering here, suppose you took this trade and you were entering here and you are targeting it, it's like a 1 hour. It's like a 1 hour trade and it's not bad, right? And if you are like when price came down here, if you are pyramiding to it, it would be like a 2 hour trade. Let's see if price hits this 50-minute fair value gap though. We marked this 50-minute fair value gap, right? If I take on 50-minute fair value gap, you can see 50-minute chart, sorry, you can see that there's relative equal highs below this fair value gap, and it's also unfilled. But at the same time price did hit our 60-minute fair value gap right here. So I was telling you guys that I wanted to see price going towards the buy side first, right, and then dropping. So we can expect to see a drop now, and that's what happening. If price wanna deliver towards the sell side, that's what I think it will. It should not get support from any of these fair value gap right here. The fair value gaps that you see right here, it should not get support from any of these. It should like smash through this fair value gap. If it's getting support from any of this fair value gap, your trade idea is wrong. And that's how you know like when you should get out of it trade and when you should trade, right? So these two fair value gap, that's a fair value gap right here. I want to see it getting failed if price want to remain heavy towards the sell side. If price has still in mind to offer buy side, it can come up and offer buy side because we do have relative equal highs here. At the same time, we also do have fair value gap right here that is unfilled. So you can see that when price was here, right, when price activated this breaker block, I started my stream and I was explaining to you what price should do, and it was in one direction. And you saw that like when price, we all know that when price generates a fair value gap inside of a breaker block, right, it becomes a unicorn. What did you saw here? Price generated a fair value gap inside this breaker block, and then it got support from the same fair value gap right here. Didn't you saw it? Let me know in the chat if you saw it and if you experienced all what I was telling you live with me. If you did, say yes on the chat. Thank you. So that was a move that was predicted, okay? This move was predicted that price would deliver towards the equal high. I hope the questions, the people who ask me questions, how do I know which relative equal high or which relative equal low price will take first? I hope you got your answer today. We can see a relative equal low down here. But did I tell you that I want to see price dropping after taking out liquidity from here, from this swing high? No. Why did I tell you that I still want to see price delivering towards the buy side, right? Rather than saying to you, I can see a clean level, guys, right, on the sell side, I want to see it's getting rated. I told you I want to see it getting rated, but after it hits the 60-minute fair value gap. And when you see chart like this, right, on 1 minute chart, you can see a lot of setup. Once price does present to you something like this, like I saw it on 1 hour chart. What was my main confirmation? What was my main confirmation? This hourly chart, okay? Price did generate an equal low right here. Price didn't took it. Rather, price opened its next candle okay, and it was delivering towards the buy side from its next candle. If price has something in mind to deliver, to take out these equal lows, it would have done it by now, like at the very next candle. But at the very next candle, what did you saw? After this equal low got generated, at the very next candle, price was delivering buy side. That's how I knew that if price wanna deliver buy side, it will hit this hourly fair value gap that is unfilled, and that's the nearest draw on liquidity for price to come up, grab some order, and then dropping. That's how you know from where price will grab orders. But still we do have this 50-minute fair value gap that is unfilled, but price did offered a buy side liquidity, right? And price does have a relative equal low. That's a very strong relative equal low, and you can see the price didn't took it. So that's what I'm expecting right now. Price hit our 60-minute fair value gap, so I'm expecting to see a run on sell side. So this fair value gap, I told you guys, if my narrative, if my idea is correct, how price will let me know that my idea is correct? It will smash through every one of these fair value gap. That's how I will know. I know that my trade idea is correct. Price gives me confirmation like this, that okay Hydra, your trade idea is correct. Now I'm gonna reject from every fair value gap, and now I'm not gonna use this fair value gap as support to get support towards buy side. I will support your trade idea and I will smash through the relative equal lows. That's how I know. Price lets me know that what it wanna do in its next move. That's how I know. So that's the fair value gap right here. That's another fair value gap. I didn't mark it for you, and you can see that this fair value gap failed. And what do I say to you? Once price closes a candle's body below the midway of a fair value gap, right? If it does that below the midway and the lower quadrant, if it does that in a BC, okay? If it's a CB, it will be like the midway and then the upper quadrant. When it's a BC, it's the midway and the lower quadrant. Always do remember that, guys. And what do you saw here? Price came down, closed the candle's body below the midway. At the same time, price did close another candle's body below the lower quadrant. So what do we expect? We expect to see price remaining heavy towards the sell side. Okay, folks, this whole freaking move was predicted. How the fuck am I able to call market with so much confidence, with so much accuracy? That's how, because I build a narrative first, okay? I don't think about money. If I was thinking about money, this move right here that you will see right now, it will give me more money right now. But I was thinking chart with narrative. That's the reason I saw this move happening before it did. Okay, price did left clues for me to think like that. These relative equal highs that you see price generated, and at the same time price did left a fair value gap, hourly fair value gap unfilled. So that's the two trade idea, like that was the two confirmation for me, like high confirmation for me to see that, to expect a run on fair value gap first and then dropping. And what do you see here? Isn't what I'm telling you is clear? Everything that I'm telling you is very easy to understand, and it does make sense to you. Okay, it's that easy, folks. Once you learn how to build the narrative, once you learn how to see chart with logic, trust me, your win rate, okay, will increase a lot. What I can guarantee to you is that, like, you will be able to read charts better than anyone. It doesn't matter how many experience a person has, you will be able to read charts better than them. It doesn't matter. What do I mean by it doesn't matter? Suppose a guy here who has 5 years of experience reading charts, okay, you can read charts just like him. You'll be like just couple steps away from him because he has a lot of years of experience, right? And you have like suppose 1 or 2 years of experience, but you will be able to read chart better than him if you look at chart like this. Once you get out of the zone, the mind that thinks about money all the time, money, you will discover a whole new chart. Okay, let's focus on our chart. So this is our old breaker block, right? Price did close the candle's body above, and price did came down, And this fair value gap that you see here, right, that's a unicorn. Price did hit it, went up, cleared the relative equal highs here, and is dropping right now. If price wanna drop below, right, then I don't wanna see this breaker block getting supporting price. Price is leaving clues for me. Look at this relative equal lows that price generated right here. That's a relative equal low, right? Price did generate it. So right now I want to see from where price gets support towards the sell side, and from which level it makes more sense to you. From this zone, right, from this fair value gap. I don't want to see price coming up and going above this fair value gap. This fair value gap that you see, I don't want to see price coming up and going above that. If it does that, it will hunt these relative equal highs that you see here. It will hunt that. And if it does respect this fair value gap and my narrative, it will hunt the relative equal lows that I showed to you on hourly chart. It will do that. Yes, why so serious? He asked a very nice question. You said that if price closed below 50%, right, 0.5%, then we should expect to see price remain heavy towards the sell side, right? And you can see that price did close the candle's body below this fair value gap. That's where the narrative, that's where the logic comes in. Why so serious, right? When price did close the candle's body below this fair value gap, did you heard me say, okay guys, price closed the candle's body below the 50%, now we will look for short? No. What I was saying to you, I was saying to you that I want to see price getting support from this fair value gap. That's how you trade, okay? Not every single time price will support your trade idea. You will see that price is getting failed from your trade idea. But if you have a narrative behind your trade, if you have a logic, that's the holy grail, folks. This setup will fail a lot of times, but your logic can save you from a fail setup, just like it did here. What did I tell you guys? That look for short if price is closing candle's body below the midway and the lower quadrant. But price did close the candle's body below the midway and the lower quadrant here. Then why didn't you were looking for shorts, Hydra? Because price built at equal highs, and these equal highs works as strong liquidity. So what price did, price generated equal highs, left it. At the same time, there was a 60-minute fair value gap. If you go back and listen to me, I was building a narrative first, okay? A narrative comes in first, then a setup. Once you have the narrative, setup is easy, just like this, okay? You will be able to call the market just like me. But narrative is the part where the magic happens. That's where most fails. They think like, okay, Hydra is telling me price should get rejected from if it closes candle's body below the midway and the lower quadrant. Okay, then every time price does close its candle's body below the midway and the lower quadrant, I will look for a short. That's not a correct mindset. You know why? Because you don't have a logic. When you have a logic, you will see that even if your setup is getting failed, price will support you, and you will be confident in your calling. You will be able to hold your trade. I've told you guys, let's see what price does in this fair value gap. Let's see that if price uses this fair value gap as a support, and it did. And before I said it to you, I told you that this breaker block got activated, and if this breaker block is valid, it should hold price, not reject it. And before that, there was other narrative. Look at this. That's a fair value gap, right? That's a fair value gap that aligns with another fair value gap. So what does this fair value gap becomes? This fair value gap becomes a BPR. And what is a BPR? A BPR is a strong level of liquidity. How I see my charts, how I see the fair value gap. I see a fair value gap in two ways. Okay? A fair value gap that comes with BPR, that's a strong liquidity. A fair value gap, a normal fair value gap, okay, that comes with low probability. When you see a BPR like this, you should know that that's a gigantic pool of liquidity. And price did what? Price came up, came down, right, hit this fair value gap, right, again, and then got rejected as soon as I saw it, and then price got rejected from 0.75 again. So that's how I was building my narrative, and that's how I was able to see this buy happening before it did. Price did hit this BPR, right? If price has something in mind to hunt this relative equal lows down here, it will not respect this fair value gap, but it did. Price did respected this fair value gap right here, and you can see that the respect was aggressive. Price came down, did a stop hunt, right, and went above aggressively. And when price closed the candle's body above the breaker block, that's when I knew that price will hunt buy side liquidity. And that's how I knew, even if this fair value gap, even if price closing a candle's body below the 50% of this fair value gap, my trade idea is still correct, because of other narratives that I generated right here. Because the other narratives that I built it right here. If price wanna become bearish, okay, it will have to go through these through this week, okay, and that's what you will see now. If you go back, okay, if you just join, I can see that some people joined here right now. If you go back, you will be able to see that I called this move here and this whole move towards the downside right here. When price was here and closed the candle's body below the midway of this fair value gap, I told you that I want to see every other fair value gap that you see here getting filled. Why? Why did I say that? Because price has strong level of liquidity down here. Does it make sense? Okay, why you don't want it to see it to go up? Like, I didn't get your question. I told you I wanted to see price hitting the 60-minute fair value gap and then dumping. That was the narrative. And it did that. When price was going up, I saw a setup. I saw this breaker block. And I did outline to you guys here. Why so serious is asking again. I understand, but would you still take a trade while your narrative is bullish, but the BC didn't stop the price above 50% as you wanted it to? My stop loss, where is my stop loss? Below the breaker block, okay? And what do I tell you guys? Engage at the second candle. After price closes the candle's body above the breaker block, engage at the second candle. And what do you see? Price did open the second candle and it was bearish. If price has something in mind to respect this breaker block, it should be aggressive towards the buy side. It did came down. No signal that it was getting support from this breaker block. Then I saw this fair value gap and I was like, okay, let's see if price respects this fair value gap. It did reject it from this fair value gap right here. That was the first confirmation. It did reject it from this fair value gap. Then it got rejected from the upper quadrant of this week. That's when I knew that price is bullish. Once price did this stop hunt and got rejected from this fair value gap over here, I wasn't looking for a trade from this fair value gap. Why so serious? Just so you know, I wasn't looking for a trade from this fair value gap. I was looking for a trade after price closing candle's body here. And just to answer your question, yes, I would take this trade once price was going above the midway. I will pyramid in my entry. I would have pyramid in my entry once price went above the midway of this fair value gap. If you wanna be like a little bit more cautious, you can enter again at this trade once price closes candle's body above this fair value gap again, like this. And if I was in this trade, I would have holded this trade, okay, because of the rejection that I was seeing right here. It comes in after looking at charts, okay. That's what you will get after you have enough experience. Once you have enough experience, you will be able to know what price is gonna do, which fair value gap you should respect, how you should respect. This whole move, folks, it was predicted. I told you guys I want to see every other fair value gap here getting rejected. And what do you saw? This fair value gap got rejected. The fair value gap down here, this one also got rejected. And then when price was here hitting this breaker block, I told you that that's our old breaker block right here. and I don't want to see price getting support from this breaker block. If price is getting support from this breaker block, it will hunt these equal highs. That's how I know what price will do before it does. That's something, folks, if you follow a model blindly, you will never ever be profitable. A breaker block is not a holy grail. A fair value gap is not a holy grail. What is a holy grail is patience, controlling your emotion. When price was hitting this fair value gap, did I took a trade? Did I saw a trade? Yeah, no. When price rejected from this week, I knew that it was bullish, but I needed more confirmation. How do I get more confirmation? Once price closes a candle's body above the breaker block, that's how I knew it's bullish. It's freaking bullish, and I was able to call the market here. I told you guys I want to see price coming up, hitting this 60-minute fair value gap. And before I started my live stream, I also shared all the confirmation. So if you are still confused, you can go back and listen to it again. So what I want to see, price getting rejected towards the sell side and offering sell side right now. So let's see if price does that or not. Yeah, folks, like, it's not, I spend more time with charts than I do spend with my girlfriend. So yeah, I should know her better than my girlfriend, right? As I'm spending more time with her, that's the reason I know. If I wasn't streaming, if I wasn't streaming and coming to here, like opening the Ethereum chart, would you be looking at Ethereum chart right now? No. But I'm here, I'm looking at Ethereum chart, I'm tape reading, I'm building my experience, I'm doing all the stuff, I'm doing all the hard work that you are not doing. So that's the reason I know when a fair value gap should hold price, and it does hold. Okay, so let me clear this breaker block right here. This old breaker block that you see right here is not valid anymore. So what do you see here? Let me take you on the 5-minute chart. The things will get a little bit more clear. You saw me calling market both sides and getting correct just now. I'm gonna do it more. Okay, price did a stop hunt here, right? Price went up. Do you see any relative equal highs in these candles? No. So what I'm expecting to see, price getting support from these 5-minute breaker blocks right here. So that's our 5-minute breaker block. It's not yet activated. If I take you on 3-minute chart, let's see what the 3-minute chart present to us. Price came down, right? And yeah, I can also see a breaker block on 3-minute chart. That's our breaker block right here. Before price offered a buy side, what was the last down close candle? Before all this buy side liquidity happened, what was the last down close candle? These down close candle are our last down close candle, right? So these down close candles becomes our breaker block. So if price wanna hunt sell side liquidity, and that's what I'm expecting, right? I want to see price closing candle's body below and getting support from it and rejecting from this fair value gap, getting support towards the sell side liquidity from this fair value gap. So now let's drop down to the 5-minute chart and 1-minute chart, and let's see what price is gonna do. So the narrative is the first thing that I want to build, folks. Without a narrative, your trade idea will get wrong every single time. Okay, what our US 30 did today? Did anyone trade on US 30? Were you able to find a setup today on US 30 or S&P or US 100? Did you found a setup today on indices? Okay, price is getting rejected from these order blocks. The order blocks that you see here, that's our order block. Oh my god, it's moving so aggressively before I even mark it. Do you guys like crypto? Look at this, it's so volatile, it's so precise, it follows algo to the tick. I love to practice on crypto. Every weekend, folks, I spend hours looking at these charts. So price is getting rejected from this order block right here. At the same time, price hit this fair value gap. So I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side from here. Let's see what it does. David is saying, yes, I traded US 30 breaker block setup. Two of them, 920 macro and 1050 macro. Wow. Really, bro, you caught both of these macros. Congrats, bro. I wasn't looking at the chart. I didn't look at the chart. So I don't know. I think there is a small breaker block. Yes, I just marked it out for you. That's our small breaker block. Other than that, on 1 minute chart, that's our 5 minute breaker block though. The higher time frame breaker blocks comes with higher probabilities. The lower time frame breaker block comes with lower probabilities. Okay, if your narrative is correct, even on lower time frame, your breaker block will be very strong. So I also do see another breaker block right here. If you look at chart like this, that's a higher high, right? And what did price did here? Price generated this higher high, and then price went above this higher high and generated a new higher high. So this higher high, when this was broken, these last down close candles that you see here, this becomes our breaker block. And if I marked it out right here, right now, what do you see? Price closed the candle's body below this breaker block, right? So what do we expect? We expect to see price hunting and offering sell side liquidity from here, right? But remember, guys, I trust more on this 5 minute fair value 5 minute breaker block than I do on this 1 minute. But anyway, let's see what price does. We are here to learn, so let's learn. Okay, if you look at 3 minute chart, okay, on 3 minute chart, what do you see? Tell me, what do you see on 3 minute chart? Let me hide the drawing first. You will be able to look at charts better that way. Price generated a big week right here, right? So let's see if how price reacts to this week. I want to see it too. Okay, I don't see any trade idea here though. From this week, I do see price dropping and hunting the relative equal lows, but I don't see any trade idea from this week. I just want to see how price reacts from this 3 minute week. That's what I want to see. Also look at the 1 minute chart, folks. So I'll keep both of these chart right next to them. And look how price generated equal lows right here. If I mark it out for you, that's a swing low. And before price went up, right? What did it left? It left these relative equal lows right here. So what I'm expecting, price will become aggressive and it will aggressively hunt these relative equal lows. Okay, everything looks messy here. Let me just mark everything for my members here so that they can learn about little. So what I want to see right now, price getting support towards the sell side from this level right here. And hunting these relative equal lows down here. So when I marked the week, right, I told you to see from where does price gets rejected, right? That's what I told you to see. And from where did price got rejected, folks? Let me know in the comment section from where the measurement of the by the measurement of the week, from where did price got rejected. Price got rejected from the higher quadrant, right? At the same time, price generated a relative equal high right here. If I mark it for you, that's a relative equal high. So what does equal high mean? We don't want to see if price want to support our trade idea. We don't want to see price leaving a equal high or generating a equal high on its way towards the downside. It should remain clean. I can see a order block on 5-minute chart. That's the order block right here on 5-minute chart, right? That's the close candle. So I want to see price getting rejected from this order block though. If price is going up, that's what you are seeing right here, is going up, right? I want to see price getting rejected from this order block, from this 5-minute order block, plus this 1-minute inversion that I marked here. Price is generating equal lows right down below, right here. It left these relative equal lows below clean. Look at the clean levels right here. Do you guys see that, how volatile crypto is? So this kind of move On indices you won't see that. If you were like a complete indices trader, price does not behave like this suddenly, but on crypto it does behave like this. So price did cleared these relative equal highs here, right? At the same time it generated these relative equal lows. So let's just wait and let's see how price reacts. This inversion here though, that's the inversion. Deducting from it, it will hunt these relative equal highs up here. So I want to see it getting rejected from here. If it does not do that, our drawn liquidity will be this swing high, and then these relative equal highs up here. At the same time, price now came up towards the premium zone. If I measure this swing, where is price right now? In premium, right? And this inversion is in premium zone. So I want to see price getting rejected from this inversion. Let's see if it shows us any willingness to get rejected. If you put the ordinary Fibonacci here, like the Fibonacci that shows 69.8% level and all that stuff, right? The sweet spot, the 61.5 level will come here. If you put the Fib, you will be able to see that the 61.5 level comes in here. So price is getting rejected from this inversion, right? So that would be, I will wait for this candle to behave, and then I will tell you guys what price will do. So let's see what this candle does here. Okay, it opened lower, so the trade idea will be something like this. Right here, our stop loss will be above the inversion. Target will be these relative equal lows. I'm not giving you a signal. I want to see how price behaves, okay? If price want to respect my trade idea, I will use this trade idea on indices. I'm not trading live today on this chart, okay? I'm just looking at chart and building my experience with you all. So let's just do that rather than using me as a signal service. I'm not your signal service. So that's our inversion, right? I want to see this inversion fair value gap. This fair value gap is getting failed again. I want to see this fair value gap providing support for price towards the sell side. Okay, so we can see that price is getting support from this inversion, right? That's what we don't want to see. My stop loss will be above this week right here. Why? You might ask me why Hydra. Price might just want to come up, right? Take some liquidity from the week above here. So it's better we put a stop loss like this, right? No. If price is, that's a long week. If I measure this week, price will see market like this. Wait. Price will see market like this as a premium and discount PD area. This week right here, price will watch it like this. So even if price is coming up, right, I don't want to see price coming up and closing a candle's body above the midway and the upper quadrant. If it does that, My trade idea is wrong. I'm wrong, right? So why just hope and let market take a lot of money from me? Rather, I choose to be like this. Now that price closed the candle's body below the midway and the lower quadrant of this inversion, my stop loss will be like this. In entry, sorry, like this. Oh wait, what's happening with this? Something like this above this candle's bodies, right? I don't want to see price coming up and going above this last bullish candle here. So that's the reason I trail my stop loss like this. And what do you see here? Price is delivering towards the sell side aggressively, just as I told you guys 3 times today, folks. 3 times in between this short time. I called market in front of you and you saw it printing just as I called. Okay, I'm that precise on Ethereum, and that's how I build my experience. Okay, that's how I was able to trade market on US30. So our this trade idea was correct. That was a trade idea of like our stop loss was like this at first, right? When price generated this bullish candle, I told you that I'm trailing my stop loss. If price is getting support from this inversion and coming up and closing a candle's body above the 0.5 and the 0.75 level, I'm wrong anyway, right? So why just hope and let price hit my stop loss like this? Rather, I choose to be safe. And that's how I trade. When price closed a candle's body below the midway and the lower quadrant of this inversion, I trailed my stop loss like this. Do you guys remember? That's how I mitigate my loss. And what do you see? Price was aggressive. Price did moved aggressive towards the downside, right? So you saw that me calling a market using another model. That's the inversion model. I do have a lot of models like this, like inversion, BPR, a lot of stuff. It's not that I only trade with breaker block. I can take trades with other confirmation, but the breaker block that I use is the high probability setup for me. It's one of the high probability setup that if you tell me to choose a setup among the setups that I have, I will always will go for breaker block. But other setups, they also does work, just as I showed you here. It's live, folks. You don't need me to print a button here and like do it everything. Like that's a signal. That's how people trade. I told you when price was here, right? I told you that I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side because it got rejected from this inversion fair value gap. Do you guys see that how I use the inversion in front of you live? Are you guys enjoying this session? Are you guys enjoying this session? Let me know in the chat if you guys are enjoying this session. So what I want to see now, price hunting these relative equal lows. Do you guys remember how I built my narrative before taking a trade, before calling the market, before putting this in front of my chart? Do you guys remember what was my confirmation? I was telling you guys that price is generating relative equal lows, guys. Price was generating relative equal lows. And what does that mean? Price is generating strong level of liquidity. So after getting support from like a premium or discount PDRA, right? Price will hunt these relative equal lows. How did I know that? How Hydra was able to call market 3 times in front of me today live? How did I do that? Because I was building narrative first. Then I was looking for a trade. That's the holy grail, folks. The narrative that comes first. If you don't have the narrative, a setup is not a holy grail. A setup will never ever make you rich, okay? Get out of the mindset, the mind that thinks, okay, if I master breaker block, if I master inversion, I'll be rich in 1 month. I'll be able to find the success. It never happens, to be honest. The holy grail is the narrative. If you learn how to build the narrative, a setup is easy. A setup is always there, guys. Market is always moving. What does that mean? A setup is always getting generated. You only need to learn how to look at price, how to read price action, okay? That's the reason my mentor always tells on, folks, all build your narrative first, build your price action knowledge first. Once you are able to read the price action, the setup is easy, okay? The rest of the thing is easy. 2R is nothing. I can generate 2R from this move. If I do the live stream for like a whole 6 hour, right? Crypto is always open. If I do a live stream, I'll be able, for like 6 hours, I'll be able to identify countless setup in front of you. Countless. How I can able to do that? Because I'm building a narrative first. But I'm not gonna do a 6 hour long live stream, okay? I'm not a machine, so if I keep doing live stream for that long, my mind will just get like blown. I can only look at chart for like certain hours with a clean mind, for like suppose 1 or 2 hours. That's the reason every live stream that I do, it's limited to 2 hours. I never cross 3 hours, because after 2 hours, okay guys, I know like my mind become exhausted. It does not think clear. After that, whatever I think, it doesn't matter how clean of a setup that is, I will lose money because my mind is not supporting me. So a clean mind first, then the narrative, okay? That's it. After that, a setup will be always there in front of you. So what I want to see right now, price getting support towards the sell side. I've always been saying supply and demand. What's that, MS? Why are you saying supply and demand? I'm not using supply and demand here, MS, just so you know. So I want to see right now price taking out this relative equal lows down here that it generated, right? I've literally been preaching market towards the sell side since I started the stream. I was telling you guys, okay, I want to see sell side getting offered. I want to see getting sell side offered. And before that, I told you guys I want to see getting buy side getting offered after sell side. This whole move here was called. This whole move down here was called. Even this move here, it was even called. So now let's see from where price gets support towards the sell side. Any tips for mastering daily bias? Yes, the tip is build the narrative. Look at chart with the narrative. You can go and watch my 2 videos that I did about the bias. It's on my playlist. You will see the daily bias. There's a playlist daily bias, about daily bias, and there's 2 videos. So if you look there, you'll be able to see how I decide my bias from there. I will make a video like about the daily bias this week. So yeah, you can also look at weeks there. Sorry, you can also look for how I see and how I decide my daily bias there. I will make a new video this week. Okay, do you guys see how crypto behaves? Just as I told you, like you will see crypto consolidating like for like 20 candles and then suddenly it becomes volatile. You never see that in indices. Indices, if it's volatile, it will be volatile for a lot of candles. It won't just stop and consolidate out of nowhere. But on crypto, right? Look at each of these candles. The candles that delivered price aggressively, look how they behave. They are very, very aggressive. So if your narrative is wrong on crypto, your stop loss will get hunt very quickly. Very quickly will get stopped out from these markets. So crypto is for like the pro players in these games. So if you are a new player, just focus on the learning part from crypto rather than trading with live funds on crypto. Just focus on crypto for learning sessions. Okay, that's how we will improve. Crypto is easier than forex. M1MA, he is saying like, is forex easier than crypto? Crypto is easier than forex. So price did delivered towards the sell side liquidity right here, right folks? That's a sell side liquidity and price did deliver it here. I called the move here. So that will be the live stream for today, guys. I will end the live stream here. And just watch how price delivers towards this sell side liquidity, right? Now that if I take you on 60-minute chart, you will be able to see that price hit this 60-minute fair value gap and then it's dropping. So what do we expect? We expect to see price hunting these relative equal lows now. So just keep in mind that how price behaves. Okay, we are not looking for a trade idea. I did share with you 2 trade ideas. I called this move here once price was like getting support from this breaker block, then this down move here, and then another move here. But was I looking for a trade idea? I was just looking how price reacts to the zones, and if my trade idea is correct, I wanted to see if my trade idea is correct or not. That's what I was doing. I was tape reading in this chart. I was building my experience, and that's what you should do. Just because your trade idea is getting correct now on crypto, you should not come and trade with live funds on crypto. That's what you should not do. So I will close my stream right here, guys. It was a short stream. I was supposed to go for like 2 hours, but I think I will close it here. I hope you enjoyed the session. If you did, smash the like button, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow or the day after that. But this weekend I'll do another live stream on crypto, and that will be like a long one. I promise that. So I'll just close it here. Take care, guys. Have a nice weekend and peace.